Hey everyone, welcome to day 2 of the Megadrone X. Another great day of racing going
2.0.
on, 2.0. So we're going to be here to give you a recap. We're going to give you an interview that we did with Mick Strawley, who's
Mhm.
the fastest guy in day 1. We got some of the local pilots, got to represent them since this is the Midwest. And then we'll give you a wrap up from Joe Scully himself. So Elvin, before we get into all the interviews, what do you think of day 2?
It was awesome. It was, man. The racing is just, when you get to this level of racing, it's intense. You can see it on the pilots' faces as they get up there, and we got practicing yesterday, and today they actually went to started getting placement, for tomorrow, and people were a couple of people we noticed missed their times to flat. They weren't paying attention, which is one of those things that you need to do when you're at one of these races, or you'll miss your call or you'll miss your heat, and that's not good because when you're trying to get 5 packs in or 6 packs in a day, and you miss your heat, there goes a pack. And those laps total up at the end of the day. You can't miss those things, right?
No, it's definitely very important, and it's one of those things where if you crash out, then those extra packs they're going to be really important to you because it's the consecutive laps that are going to count. And
Right.
we saw that some people actually dropped out because all the carnage, all their
Right.
stuff is broken, and they just couldn't keep going. So it wasn't the fastest people that made it into the top 32. It was also the people that survived day 2 that made
Right.
it into the top 32.
The people that actually came with more than one quad and 2 quads and 3 quads. Like we saw a guy, actually saw a guy with 10 quads. He was ready. Like they were all different ones, which is one of those things that I always say: don't come here with 9 different types of quads, and But hey, this guy was at least prepared to break a lot of stuff and still have a ship at the end of the day, even after trying to run 5 laps today.
I tell you what, I saw a lot of broken stuff. So from day 1, a lot of people broke a lot of stuff. They went back overnight, repaired all of it, came back, broke the same stuff. But you know what? They're still racing, and tonight, I guarantee you, those same people, they're going back, repairing all this stuff, preparing to go into the finals for
Right.
day 3.
And it's good racing, So when those guys are in the air, we watch a lot of guys start, and sometimes we watch everybody finish. And it didn't happen every heat, but it did happen a couple of times where everybody came down and they had finished their heat, and just some guys got more laps than the others because some people were trying to finish laps and some people were trying to make times, and unfortunately, a lot of guys went home today, and that happens. If you think that you're going to come to one of these races and you're going to continue it, I mean, it's happened to Brain Drain, it's happened to 32 Bits of Gill, it's happened to Jet, it's happened to Gab. So don't think that you're going to come to one of these races and everything's going to always work out for you, because that's just not how things work.
That is true. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and give you our interview of Mick Strawley. He was the
Yeah.
fastest person on day 1
Of
and
both tracks.
on both tracks. So, he's definitely a cool guy to talk to.
Yeah.
So, here's the interview. All right, we are joined right now with Mick Strawley. He's right now the current lap leader in one track, and he's got the fastest lap right now in the main track. So, we're really
on
excited.
the tiny track.
On the tiny track. Now.
Hey, yesterday you were a hot lap on both, right?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Yes. So we're on the second day, but we're really excited to talk to Mick Strawley. For those of you who don't know, he was at DRL. He did really well. One of the fastest pilots out there, the most
Yep.
aggressive pilot that I've seen. And it's great to have him here in the United States again racing. So, Mick Strawley, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. My real name is Andreas Hahn. I'm from Germany. I'm 23 years old, and I started drone racing about 2.5 years ago. First, I was flying long range wings, and it was a little boring for me, so I started with drone racing, and I directly fell in love with it. I started joining many races in Germany and around in Austria, and I was really successful at it.
And that's
And-
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, when you started drone racing, was it a big thing in Germany?
It was already, we had already some races and things like that. Big community, and yeah, I wasn't one of the first, I can say. So there were many pilots in Germany before me.
Okay, so before we get to Megadrone X, obviously you were one of the pilots at DRL, and that's a very exciting time. You can call yourself a professional pilot.
Yeah.
What was your experience like?
DRL is just amazing. It was the biggest, best organized race on anything I've ever saw. I enjoyed the time there really much. It's just super amazing to see how they work, how's everything going on, and I would be super happy to be there next season.
Definitely, and
Right.
we hope you are, because I think you got something to prove, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the seasoned pilots from DRL, they did really well because they knew what to expect. So
Right.
hopefully you'll get on second season and like use that experience for good use, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, like, you obviously, we saw you at the International Open. You actually put down the hot lap first day on that one too. I remember that. I saw that video feed. It was really fast. And at Megadrone X, you're doing the same thing. Like, what makes you so fast just from the get-go?
I'm pushing all the time. I'm thinking all the time how I can get faster, how to take the corner faster, and anything. And in Germany, there's not really anybody I can compete with. So it's super nice to be here with all the many good pilots you have here. It's so amazing to fight against them and talk to them. How was it going? For example, on the tiny track, somebody made 13 laps and he was flying a 1800 battery, high voltage charged, and he didn't finish because his battery dropped. And I made 14 laps with a 1500, and I still had 14 volts left when I landed. So
Oh, really? Super
Wow.
efficient,
Yeah.
huh?
So looks like I have an efficient setup.
Is that-
Efficiency is
It's
a lot
really
of, like I
important,
said
yeah.
before earlier today. I said that a lot of guys don't know how to
Yeah.
fly efficiently.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not really set up for
Yeah.
efficient. They're set up for maximum thrust
Yeah, top
constantly,
speed.
and that can hurt you in a race like
Definitely,
this
yeah.
where you're trying to get the most amount of laps
Yeah.
and be efficient through the whole flight
you have
program.
to fly 2
right?
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
What was the setup? Is it like a 3-inch quad or is
No,
it...
no, I was flying 5-inch with 2207 X Novas
Mm-hmm.
and
wow.
the 5152 Gemfan props.
Okay.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
you were just I mean that's
It's a
not the
powerful
most. Yeah, it's
powerful
still a lot.
setup, yeah.
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 So it's kind of amazing. You actually still have 14 volts. To be honest with you, most
Yeah.
people kill a battery like that.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. So like, tell me how. Because a lot of people, they're kind of conservative at the very beginning learning the track. What's your mentality for being so aggressive all the time? You just no fear?
Yes, so I recognize I'm really fast to get used to a track. For example, when I went to the small track, the lap record was 9 seconds.
Right.
And on my third lap in the first battery, I had a 9.5. So I was directly into the track because I'm practicing all the time tiny tracks,
Right.
and yeah, it's I think my my how to say my bonus point that I'm really fast getting used to new tracks.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it because you can just pick it up right away.
Yeah, but when I'm practicing at home, I'm building up every day as a different track.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So how many packs do you do a day usually?
Usually about 30 to 40 packs.
That's a
try to-
lot of
That's
packs.
a lot
Yeah,
of
I have a
packs.
big 22,000 6S Tetubu charging battery for on field charging, and I can fly the whole day with it.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. Now, between, the small, more technical track and the big track over here, which one do you like more?
I definitely like the small track more because I think it's more competitive when you fly tiny tracks with tiny gates. I always have to have the right angle, and on the big track you just need to have a powerful setup, take the corners tight, and hit the gates, and then you have a good lap time. But to get a good lap time on the tiny track, you have to you need to have way more skills, in my opinion,
Yeah,
to fly that
It's more work, right?
times. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely more work, and you have to. Well, less mistakes can happen over there before you crash out, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah, also the mid-air risk is super high on the tiny track.
we have 32 bits who can't even talk right now, trying to photobomb
Gil's
us.
Super
photobombing,
sick.
tongue bombing.
Hey, you know what? One good thing about going to DRL is you have lifelong friends, right?
Yeah.
You're friends with the top pilots, and like
Exactly. Yeah.
in every big event, you always see them there, so you can always hang
That's
out,
it,
isn't
yeah.
it?
Yeah, it's very different when I'm on a race in Germany. I know everybody, and everybody knows me. And when I'm on a race, an international race, just a guy like anybody else, of course, because Only
hold
few
on.
guys.
That's not
just
true.
anybody else. Don't give us that.
We walk in, people know you. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, that's the guy that did
You
the
can't
12
even
second
hide.
lap.
DRL, yeah, because of DRL, yeah.
No, but it's fun, right? So, like, on the big track, like, are you noticing that you're kind of maxing out your quad, or is it like you still have some left?
Right now, I only flew for the fastest lap time on this track. So when my battery was empty, I just landed.
Oh, okay. So you think you can make 10 laps or 9 laps?
I'm not sure. So I saw the guy who's in first place right now. He made an average lap time of 12.5 seconds. And to get this time, you always need to be at almost full throttle.
12.
And I'm not sure if my quad is efficient enough to finish 10 laps with in that speed, but I will try it.
Yeah, definitely. Are you going to be up soon?
I'll 10 minutes, 20 minutes or something like
Okay,
that.
cool. I just don't want to make you late. That's why why I'm asking.
Right.
So, like, this is obviously a great track, and a lot of people are kind of wanting to go to India. Is that your goal? Is to next year try to get to India?
I didn't know that this is offered at this race, so it was. I think this morning somebody told me. So, oh really?
It's a nice bonus for you, huh?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it would be super amazing to race in India.
Yeah, like I think internationally, drone racing is growing. You know, it's getting bigger faster than the United States. Are you looking that you have to travel more now? Is that
Yes.
something that you have to you like or you don't like?
Yeah, the long plane trips I don't like that much, but it's worth it to be on a race like this. So I traveled 13 hours to Louisville. And when I was there, and then tomorrow we're going to race in a cave, it was totally worth it.
It was totally worth it. So you like your time down here so far?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, this is
Definitely.
definitely a unique venue, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, we're in Europe. We have also the Salt Mine, where the Drone Champions League doing races, and yeah, it's also a nice location. But I like this one because it's so wide. It's so
Yeah.
super wide.
Did you participate in the Drone Champions League?
Yeah, last year, yes,
okay.
I joined the races in Romania at the
In
Drone
Romania?
Champions
Yeah,
League.
we saw the cave race down there. It was actually really neat because you got the
Yeah,
long
the dive
elevation
down, yeah.
drop.
There was a salt lake, and the salt lake is about 10 meters deep. And when you quad this down there, you have almost no chance to get it back, because there's so much salt in the water. When you try to dive, you can't. You need much weights on your body to dive in this water.
Oh, so there's what?
Oh
there's
yeah,
probably
yeah,
still.
yeah.
Yeah,
Are there
the
still
salt is
quads
pushing
down
you
there?
up.
Yeah, your buoyancy
That's
goes
the
up in
quads and
salt water.
GoPros. GoPro Hero 5, about six of them.
It's gonna be there forever.
2016 Drone Champions League, 22 quads fall into the water,
22
and only
quads.
about 5 to 6 get recovered.
They're gonna be down there
Wow.
forever. It's gonna be
Yeah.
part of the features. Like,
Time
there's-
capsule.
yeah, that's pretty
crazy.
cool, man.
It is.
So outside of drone racing, is there anything cool that's going on?
No, I'm really uninteresting outside of drone racing. It's,
Ah, that's
the DRL also struggled with me. They asked, "Yeah, do you have anything outside drone racing we can talk about?" And no,
no other hobbies, huh?
no. Before I started drone racing, I was hanging out with friends or playing computer games, watching movies, and no special hobby. Not
Okay.
really. Yeah.
Cool. Now I know that you're you're picking up a lot of good sponsors. Are you trying to make this into your professional career at this
I'm
point?
trying to. Yeah, definitely.
Do you think in Germany you can support professional drone racing yet? Because in the United States you really can't.
Yeah, United States is different there. In Germany, I think will need to get into Olympics or something like that. That you get sports sponsorships from the state or something like that. But maybe there's
Yeah, or
coming something.
hopefully, like
Yeah.
you said, you're definitely competitive enough to be in DRL again, and hopefully they'll pick you up for season 3,
Yes.
and then we'll see you back on TV again.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Like, if people want to follow you, like, where can they hit you up on social media?
They can find me on Facebook. My name on Facebook is Andy Hahn, so ANDYHAHN. And also on Instagram, there's my name Max Trolley.
Okay.
Yeah.
How'd you come up with the name McStrawley?
It's Trolley. It's in German it's pronounced Stralle.
Okay.
It was just a word we used in the city in Germany when we were drinking. So it's just a funny name. I'm not a big drinker or something like that, and I
It's
wanted.
stuck, huh?
When I started drone racing, I saw everybody has a nickname, and I wanted something funny who keeps in mind, and I chose that. And I never was thinking about that it's getting a known name in the world.
Well, it is now. It's part of your brand, so you're gonna have to live with it for the rest
Yeah,
of your
I
life.
have to, yeah.
I got 2 questions. So, what is your favorite frame that you like to fly?
My favorite frame is definitely my own designed Strolley frame. I put many thoughts in it. I developed about 3 months with some prototypes and everything. The goal was to get really tiny arms to get the best aerodynamics, and the main body where the FC and everything is inside to get it as tight and small as possible, that the air drag is as small as possible. And yeah, I'm now almost releasing it. I'm putting it on a German shop called rctech.de. And let's see how's going to like it.
No, that's cool though.
Yeah,
So
I'm aiming it to get 55 to 60 grams only the frame weight.
wow, is that base plate and top plate? How does it look?
It's with removable arms, and it has a bottom plate, main plate, and top plate.
Okay.
That's nice.
Yeah, 60
sounds
grams.
great.
That's really light. How's
Yeah.
the durability been? Because once you get to 60, man,
Yeah,
it gets a little tough.
It's definitely not the most durable frame, but I want a frame which can take 70% of the normal crashes on the normal racetrack on the open field. It takes almost every normal crash you have. When you hit a
Okay.
gate or when you hit into the ground, it takes it. But when you fly right into the metal wall or steel a stone wall,
Nothing protect against that.
there's not many.
No, there's zero.
Yeah,
Zero.
it's a performance frame. So
Yeah.
it's-
So what? I'm sorry, I didn't get the
And
name.
I got one more.
Hold on. What's the name of the frame?
I'm not sure yet. I call it like the Strolley frame or the Max Strolley frame or something.
Okay, and that's going to be released soon, right?
Yes, yes.
And what was the website again?
rctech.de. It's a German website.
Okay, cool. Definitely keep an eye out for it.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. So, now that you've competed in DRL and you've gone to all of these other races around the world, what do you think is the most interesting part of drone racing?
The most interesting part.
I mean, there's travel, there's community, there's innovation with parts. Because I'm sure people say, "Hey, can you try out our parts?" And so, is that something that you like to do? Doing the testing, doing the product development stuff.
Yeah, I definitely like to see how everything is getting better and better and better. I flew a quad from 2014. And it's just amazing how much more powerful the motors and the props and the ECs get. It's super amazing, and that's definitely one of the things I really like. But yeah,
Do you like product testing?
depends. So I have my 4 quads, I have my setup, and I not really like changing things on it.
Set in stone, man.
You like your
Yeah.
consistency, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everything
definitely.
should be perfect. I also fly only 1,500 batteries. I don't fly 1,300. I don't fly 1,800. Always 1,500
Okay.
for the
Hey.
weight.
Consistency.
Hey, you know what? He's fast out there, so
Yeah,
it
and
works
you got to
out.
know that he knows what he's tossing around, right? Right.
Well-
you get comfortable tossing that weight around, right? At
Yes,
1,500, right?
Yes.
And
It's a
you
perfect
learn how to
spot.
sharpen up those corners.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely. So are you racing on your own frame right now, or are you still developing it?
I've four frames are all prototypes. They are all not the final version, but they do their job.
Well, we're definitely going to go over there and take a picture of it so that we know what it looks like.
Yeah, we can do that.
And then now it's a Germany website, but we can buy it here internationally.
yeah, they have international shipping. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
when
Like,
it's successful, I try to get a reseller in America, maybe.
yeah,
But
definitely.
maybe nobody likes it.
you
We'll
never-
see.
Well, you got some distributors down there that you can talk to right there. But
yeah.
we'll definitely look out for your frame. I'm interested in
Alright.
taking a look, to see how it is.
Yeah,
Well,
Yep. Appreciate
always-
you coming on the show, man.
I have to
And
thank.
it was nice meeting you too. I mean, not just seeing you on the TV.
So that was the interview from McStrawley. He's definitely a cool guy. It's always great to see some of the international people
Yeah.
here, and they have to travel quite a bit in
Man,
order to get here.
Germany.
So, we're always happy to try to be accommodating and try to get them some pub when they're over here.
Yeah.
So, what'd you think of McStrawley?
Man, that guy's he said that in Germany, he's the pilot, and here he's one of the pilots. He really appreciated the fact that coming here he has someone to compete against, and where he's at home there's not as many people to compete against. So, more or less at home, everybody's gunning to beat him. Here, everybody's trying to beat each other, and it's kind of a little bit less pressure when everybody's on the same level. Everybody's fighting for a position, where at home everybody's fighting for a position past him.
Exactly. It's hard to be the king, as
Right?
they say.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and he wears clothes, so
That's funny. All right, so the next interview is actually with some of the local pilots here in the Midwest. We got Freeform FPV and the Don. Both really great guys. Freeform runs his own multi-GP chapter, and
Yep.
he races, so he's a bit busy. The Don, he's a little quiet guy, but man, every single time I see him, he is fast. When he's got his good day, it's really hard to beat him. So, got anything to say before we get in?
hey man, these guys is good guys, man. They're local guys from around here, and they're great pilots. They got great attitudes, and they love this sport.
Exactly. So, here's the interview. All right, we got two of the fastest pilots over here in the Midwest. We got Freeform FPV and we got the Don. So they're joining us. It's midway through the second day at MDX. So Freeform, what'd you think so far?
So far it's been a really good time. I put down a few good laps. Put down a few good laps of destruction too. So
Have you broken your quads yet?
I've broken 2 or 3 quads. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
I've done plenty of braking like usual.
How many? What's your fastest lap time so far?
I'm right at 14 seconds on the main track and somewhere around 11 on the micro track.
Okay, so you're definitely in the top half.
I hope to be. Yeah.
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 So the Don, what about you? How's life been going here at MDX?
Pretty good. The main course is pretty fast. Haven't had too much destruction, luckily.
Okay.
Getting through it pretty well.
What about the secondary track?
Secondary track is also pretty fast. It's supposed to be a micro track, but it's definitely 5-inchable.
Are you both trying to do your 5 inches on the
I
smaller track?
I started off trying to run 4-inch on it, and I've moved to 5-inch now because
Now it's
4-inch wasn't
Yep.
enough.
I practiced on
They're
4-inch all
very
day
they're very
yesterday.
balls out courses, if that's all right to say.
So of the two courses, which one do you like the best?
The main track
The
for
big one.
sure.
Yeah, the bigger track's a lot more fun. It's a little bit more technical.
Yeah. I like more obstacles and turns and stuff. That one, the micro track's a little quick. Not enough going on. I'd rather get less laps and have a more technical track than 9 laps on a quick track.
Now, were either of you, neither of you were on 2015 or 16s for Megadrone, right? This is your first year?
Right.
Okay.
My first year here.
First
yeah.
year.
So what do you
Oh.
think? Do you like it?
It's an awesome venue. I wish I would have. I'm hoping to get to do a ton more flying. I didn't get to do as much as I wanted to yesterday because of the destruction, but I'm having fun so far.
Cool.
Yeah, it couldn't be better placed with the scenery and flying around the big underground pillars over there on the main course.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. It's really fun.
Definitely. Have you noticed the bad video when you're going down like the mid pillars?
To be honest with the ground stations, the video on the main course has been awesome.
Yeah, I've had
other than a
very,
few
very
hiccups.
few issues. Every once in a while, you find the unicorn, you get a little blip.
Yeah, a little
But
blip.
I haven't had anything that knocked me out of the air or anything.
It's pretty solid. We're going through probably 100-foot wide pillars, and we're making it around
solid stone.
solid stone.
Solid, yeah.
It's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it's impressive the stuff they've done to make this work. Cause
They've got 2 ground stations going on over there, one on
One on
each
either
side
side
of
of
the
the
track.
pillars, yeah.
So they're even spread out. And it seems like each channel's on 4 receivers. So
Yeah.
the video's been pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. He's got a lot of equipment now between MultiGP and his own equipment.
Yeah, well,
Oh, yeah.
they've upgraded since last year,
Yeah, definitely. Cool. Any final thoughts that you guys want to put down?
Hoping to make it to Mumbai.
Make it a Mumbai. Hey, what do you think about that when you get announced it? Are you guys want Jazz to go if you get it?
Oh, I'll definitely go if I can.
I'll be
get
on
it.
the plane if I make it.
I'll leave tomorrow.
Hey, you know what? That's a pretty good grand prize because this year it's been a little bit light on the prize money, but 150K on the line and get a chance to go visit India. That's pretty cool.
Oh,
This
yeah,
is one of the
for sure.
bigger races. It's probably the biggest race of the year that anybody could just straight enter.
Right.
But I mean, you had to get on the waiting list. You had to know about it early, but this is the one to be at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's also nice that we get one over here at the Midwest. It seems
Exactly.
like all the rest of them are on the other side of the country or something, or New York.
Yep.
And nowhere else in the world is there a venue like this where we could do an event like this.
True. Yeah. Cool, man. Good luck to you, and hopefully we'll catch up with the both of you tomorrow. Make it to the top 32 or something.
That'd be cool.
Sounds like a plan.
That'd be
All right.
awesome.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, guys.
So that was a quick interview with some of the local guys. We actually have a bunch of really great interviews that we're going to produce by themselves because they're just really great, and some of them ran really long. Like Heli Nation was a podcast in itself. I
Right.
mean, that's an hour right there. So we're definitely going to release that as its own podcast. So look forward to that. The next thing we're just going to talk about is we're going to let Joe Scully do his thing. Joe Scully,
He's
got
the
over
master.
there. Yeah, and I got him the mic and says, "Hey, wrap us up." And he was kind enough to do his minute spiel on what happened during the day. Always fun to talk to Joe Scully.
Right. He's a personality that when you meet Joe, you really don't have an idea what he's capable of until he says start in 5, and you're like, what the, and then it's on, and then he's on, and he's on his game from start to finish, even when things don't go as he's planned. He's still on his game. So, we had a couple of little technical issues, like every once in a while the circuit breaker blows. When you get 19 guys charging batteries on the same circuit that the whole timing system is on and video system is on, you're going to blow a circuit. So Joe's that guy, and it's great to talk to him, and it's great to listen to him even when you're not racing.
Definitely. So here's Joe Scully's wrap up.
Day 2, Megadrone X 2017, second edition, first annual, and exciting day, so much action, 2 tracks running, and they're still under DVR reviews. A lot of controversy on that micro track is, got to make sure the top 16 are into that championship tomorrow. Over here on the big track, man, a lot of pilots through, top 32 on pro, individual. It came down to the final heats, one re-race, and one guy all on his own. It was so exciting just to watch that one guy fly in intermediate. He was like 50th going into it, need to break the top 32. And his second last lap, he finally got on pace to do it. And to have like 100 people here cheering on one guy to have the run of his life make that top 32, probably one of the highlights of the day. Seeing those big drones flying here with the Titan drones, that's exciting. Spec race, there's just so much excitement, so much drone racing, and man, it's just too bad we have to go to bed, man. I wish we could just stay up just like rock stars, just keep drone racing. So much fun, so much fun. Looking forward to tomorrow, though. Championships, brackets, double elimination, and everyone getting on flights. So another great day, Megadrone X.
So you just heard Joe Scully's little wrap up right there. Always great to hear from Joe. He's so smooth in front of the mic. He makes me look like an even bigger amateur. But you know what? You gotta learn from somebody, right? You gotta learn from the master.
Yeah, and I'm learning from you. So hey, we all learning from somebody.
That's right. So before we wrap up, can't wrap up this podcast without talking about the Titan drones because this time, day 1, they were practicing. Day 2, they opened it up a little bit. Provo got a little frisky, even went through a gate on his first race with Jordan. What did you think of the racing?
That was absolutely what we were waiting for. Again, this thing is huge. It's fast. It's even for the size, it's still fast. And it covers a lot of ground quick. You when you fly in a smaller quad like a 5-inch around that course, you can almost say you're looking at it and you're going, wow, I got a lot of room. I can fly. I can pretty much do whatever I want. You can do some flips, some rolls in there. You can't do that with that thing.
That is a big beast of a machine
that
there.
thing is huge.
And just to let you know, we were talking to the guys, like literally one motor on that Titan drone costs $300. So you're talking about $900+ just in motors alone on that drone. Just to give you an idea of the cost that's involved, to get 2 of these Titan drones down here flying.
Yeah, and that's not; those are not little props. Those are some 14-inch props on that thing, man. That thing is it'll take your fingers off, and your wrists, and your elbow, and your arm.
There you go. And on the first race, it was good. It was a lot of
great
fun
race.
watching it. Provo, like after he won, he did his victory lap, went through the gate, probably made a few of the, builders cringe a little bit.
Right.
But it was fun watching that, and it was cool. Now, on the second race, they did a second race, because they wanted to entertain the crowd.
Right.
And guess what happened?
Well, okay, so the system that's on these big ships, there's still in their infancy. You're looking at 130, 140 amp speed controllers on the ship, and 4 of them right now. And these things are new, they're testing stuff, they're breaking new ground. And when ESCs first came out, we had desync issues. If you've been in the sport for a little while, you know about the desync issues that we used to have. Well, Provo forced the desync because what he was doing was he was blipping the throttle and blip blip whap 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 whap. It didn't sound like that, but I'm just giving you for instance of what he was doing while he was flying, and he was kind of showing off. He was having fun, and blip blip, and one motor lost sync with the ESC, and in other words, either it sped up and the ESC went the other direction, or it sped down and then the ESC tried to pipe up. And what happens is when you go into desync, the speed controller will lock out the motor, and usually in our small cases, because the motors are so small, they actually blow the windings in the motor. But in this case, because the motors are so big and the windings are so big, it actually blew the speed controller up, set it on fire. There was smoke coming out of it and everything. And you should have seen them boys running when they thought that thing was going to burn up.
It was a lot of running right down there, making sure that it was unplugged. Keep in mind, folks, these are some 12-amp batteries, and those batteries together, they're longer than my arm, okay?
Right.
There's some really big 12-amp batteries powering these suckers.
You could hit a baseball with one of them.
Yeah. It's a thing. It's a sight to see, and it's also, it's a very fun hearing experience because
We want
of those
one.
things.
Not
Sure if I want to pay $2,000 for a fragile machine rig, but you know what? You got to start somewhere, right?
Well, we're going to get close.
Gonna get close. There we go. I know a few people's already be like, yeah, I think we need to go start figuring this out, and I think that's what they really want to do is they want to get some pub out there, trying to get some people interested in this Titan class, and I think it's working.
Right, and they got a lot of interest, and it's definitely like I don't know if we got it all, but we Jet almost landed on top of our GoPro session.
That's so funny.
I was like, no, and he's just right over the GoPro session and like came down and did like 3 inches from it, popped back up. I was like, oh, I didn't want to look for that damn video. I mean, the SD card. You know, I could just imagine what would happen to the GoPro session.
It's like it's gone. It'll be in like 40 pieces.
Where's the SD? Just find us the SD card. That's what I was thinking.
Down there? No, you'll never find it ever again.
Well, we lost stuff last year.
Exactly. So that's a quick wrap up of day 2. You know, if you have any questions, ask the pilots, man. I'm sure all of them will be answering questions, except when you're down there because there is no cell reception. So that's why it's always quiet until a pilot pops up, does his quick social media thing, say hi thing, and then he goes back into the underground and loses all connection again.
Yeah, and then you know one of the things I want to say is we were glad to see all the new pilots down there and all the repeat pilots. Plus, you know, we got to meet some really nice guys. I mean, you know, that Sean Ames, you know, nice guy, really nice guy, really intelligent guy, got a great background in tech, and he seems to have a great knowledge of what he wants to do with his life, and he's pushing hard and running hard. It's kind of impressive to me that, you know, he hasn't been flying for years and years like some of us, but he's got that passion, and it drives him forward every day.
Definitely. I always like it, you know, like I'm walking by people and I'm talking and people will turn around. It's like, I know that voice. They don't know my picture. They don't know me, but they know my voice. And it's like, yes.
Yeah, well, you know, that's what happened to me, too. The guy walks up, I was talking to him. He goes, I'm like, you don't know who I am? And he's like, nope. And I'm like, okay, a little depressed.
There's still plenty of pilots that don't know about us, but we still have fun.
In the end, like, you know, it was like once he heard the growl, he was like, "Oh, I know you're the guy that interviewed so and so," and I was like, "Yes." He's like, "It just took me a little while," and I'm like, "So, you know, these guys are all busy. We understand that. You know, life gets in the way when we want to play, and you know, it's just that."
Yep, so we're wrapping it up here. It's already getting late.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoy our little podcast. It'll be one more, and then we'll get back to our regular scheduled program. Well, no, we won't, because we got a bunch of interviews, like little short 20 to 30-minute interviews that we're going to rock out because it's got some really good information. Brain Drain dropped us some, you know, 6S knowledge bombs. Yep. We got some really good amusing things from a team, you know, in the Midwest,
right.
And we love them. They're really great. I don't want to ruin the excitement there. Heli Nation came on, really talked about the business side and how they grew up and what they're doing. So we got a lot of good stuff coming.
Yeah, watch that Amazon buys, guys. You know, listen to the podcast when we pop it, but you know, think about Amazon, guys. You know, he said 16%. They take 16%
a lot of money,
of his profit. You know, so whatever that is, and I can tell you what I remember from my father's business is, you know, it's a 35% profit. Hopefully you get right, and if they're taking 16, that's
a lot.
That's a lot.
All right, folks, we're headed out. Day
Aloha.
2 done.
Peace out.